This is Lane Dockstader with LI Training, and today we're going to talk about some fun stuff. We're going to talk about on LinkedIn, how do you go from from sending a connection request to actually having a conversation going. Uh, you can have a lot of fun with it. Now, Friday. Now you are there, right? I can't see you. Is your camera broken? Is your camera broken? No, just kidding. Obviously, you're not here. I'm looking into a camera, but I'm sharing this message with you. Sometimes you just got to have some fun, um, whatever that looks like. Some people will not appreciate your sense of humor. That's okay. That's okay if they don't appreciate your sense of humor because you'll find your people. You'll find your people regardless. So let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn. Depending on what your goal is, for many people, it is you have a business, you are wanting to promote your business. But what do you not want to do? What you don't want to do is, and you've gotten this, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, in the mailbox, you get these spammy messages. People say, "Hi, buy my thing," or usually they'll put their name in there. "Hi, my name's Susie or Bob or whatever their name is. By the way, do you want to buy my thing?" Right? That's what we don't want to do. You know what that's like. You don't like to be spammed, so don't do it to other people, right? And so if we can start though, eventually some of these people that we connect with, they may want to do whatever we're offering our business. Like for example, if you're a real estate agent, most people are not going to be ready the first time you meet them to buy a house. But over time, as you let people know what you do, you're probably gonna get a whole lot of people over time that are gonna wanna buy a house, and if you've let them know and built those relationships, they may very well come to you, depending on how effective you've been with that. Whatever your business is, whatever you're offering, over time, as you let people know about that, people will come to you. Just yesterday, I did a post on something, and somebody reached out and asked me about it. I didn't even have to. We had already had a conversation going, already had some things going, and this person reached out to me. That's what you want, that you are top of mind. So when they are considering what you have to offer, they'll hopefully think of you first. So from connection request to coffee chat, in other words, having a one-to-one conversation, how do you bridge that gap? How do you bridge that gap of starting with a connection request and then going from there? So, and why is that important? Well, if like I say, if we're offering something with our business, we want people to have top of mind awareness and reach out to us. Now, one of the ways that they're going to do that, we all get spammed or all see posts online. And so as we're having these conversations, as we can get that to a one-to-one where we're actually doing a coffee chat, video call one-to-one with that other person, we're going to be able to dig a little bit deeper, find out, learn who they really are, what makes them tick, so to speak. They're going to learn more about you. Now, when it comes to reaching out on LinkedIn, your first message, as they say, the first impression counts. And so on LinkedIn, your first impression is that very first message that you're sending someone to connect. Now, who are you wanting to connect with? Well, let's say that you have gone to a business meeting of some sort, whatever that is, um, a business function, a business networking meeting, for example, and let's say you've met those people, maybe you've gotten their business cards or got their contact information. It's a great time to reach out as you meet new people. It's a great time to reach out. Anybody that's a business person, has any kind of a business or something business related. That's a great time once you've gotten their business card, once you've gotten to know a new person. That's a great time to reach out on LinkedIn and say, "Hey, we just went to this this barbecue or whatever it was that you went to. I'd love to connect, learn more about you and what you do. Something as simple like that. Um, so you want to make sure that it's interesting. You don't want to be boring, right? And uh, have a meaningful conversation. Now, uh, there's three things that we want to do when we send those initial messages. The first is you want to personalize it. Again, you don't want to send that spammy message that you know they've copied and pasted for everybody to buy your thing. Instead, find something on their profile or remember something if you met them at a networking event, remember something that they said. Maybe they joked that they're maybe it's a um, maybe it's a lady whose son just went off to college. So that's a personalized thing. You can mention something about that son going to college or whatever it is. Maybe they have a dog that did something funny or whatever it is that you can mention something that personalizes uh, that you remember them. Basically, people want to be remembered, right? Um, what is your value proposition? I wouldn't necessarily uh, well, some value. Offer something of value to them, right? If you have a service that you know would help them, you don't want to be spammy, but maybe you can offer some free, whatever it is. If you have a free trial or something, something that would add value to them, not salesy, but something that adds value to them in that first conversation. And then a call to action. That call to action could simply be, hey, I'd love to connect. Looking forward to the connection. It could be, hey, we're in this group. I know uh, we're networking together. Love to learn. Maybe you've already met this person. You've already been introduced. So we're a little bit beyond that first introduction. But you can reach out to them and then uh, reach out to them and invite them to do a Zoom call, for example, or whatever that is. So personalization. Let's talk a little bit more about that. So we're not going to send a generic one size fits all, message. It's like those gloves. Sometimes you have gloves like those dishwashing gloves or whatever that are supposed to be one size fits all, and sometimes that doesn't work so well. And so these messages we don't want to have like those gloves that are three times our size or half our size of our hands or whatever. So you want to make sure that you've done your homework. Reference something from their profile or something that you remember if you've met this person in purpose. Look at it from their perspective. What do you know about this person? What is their interest? What are they interested in? Uh, what what do they see looking from their perspective? What would be a challenge that they're facing? So, for example, going back to the real estate agent example, a real estate agent is looking to get more leads, more potential people that might want to buy a house. So, so their challenge might be getting leads to have enough contacts to be able to buy a house. Whatever it is that you perceive their challenge to be, just keep that in mind. And going forward, if you can help that person, or maybe you can't directly help that person, but maybe you have a connection. Maybe you could in your network, maybe you know somebody that could benefit them. Uh, all right. So what kind of first connection requests can you make? Well, you might say something like, "Hi, so and so. We met at this networking event over the weekend. I remember you were talking about your son and how you have a new son and he got chocolate pudding all over his face or whatever it is. And uh, I appreciate what you do, that you help people, get new homes or whatever, and I love to connect and talk about, how we may network together in the future. Uh, Sincerely, your name, or however you want to say that. Put it in your own words. But it could be something as simple as like that. You're referencing somewhere you met them, and then go from there. Now, maybe you haven't met this person before. Now, if you haven't met the person, it's preferable to hopefully somebody, you hopefully know a connection, and on LinkedIn, most everybody has a connection, uh, that knows someone else somewhere, right? They talk about what is it, the 7 degrees or something that I've heard both. I've heard both ways. Yes, I know. I've heard that 7 degrees, everybody in the world is connected to everybody else 7 degrees out. I've also heard that's not necessarily true, but whether or not it's true, the point is there's a good chance. So just as an example, um, when I go to the gym, isn't it weird how when I go to the gym, it seems like at least half the time when I go to the gym, I go to my locker and there's only 2 people in the whole locker room sometimes. And when that happens, why is it that at least half the time the other person is their locker is right next to my locker? I don't know how that happens. Or or let's say I've heard that if there's at least 50 people in a room, 9 times out of 10, almost always, 2 people will have the same birthday. I don't know how that works. Uh, but yeah, it's just really strange how that happens. And so um, I just totally sometimes I tell a story and I totally forget I try to relate that to what I'm talking about, and sometimes I totally forget what the story's purpose even was. But the idea is, um, sometimes something relates somehow, and you never knew why, basically. Um, but my point was that if you're networking with someone, you never know, how someone related to someone, and you know them, and you can connect, uh, that way. You never know how that will play out. Um, so you can reach out to somebody else. So let's say that you're trying to connect with Sue. You don't know Sue. Sue doesn't know you, but maybe you look on LinkedIn and Sue knows Bob and you know Bob. Well, then you might reach out to Bob and say, "Hey, Bob, I noticed that on LinkedIn you're connected with Sue," and of course you can do this on Facebook friends too. "I noticed you're connected to Sue, and so I wanted to get to know her, and here's why. Uh, would you be so kind? Would you be willing to introduce us?" So a lot of times that would be a good way if you're looking to connect with a specific person. Find out who both of you are connected with, and then ask that person to introduce you. Hey, Bob, would you mind introducing me to Sue? I believe that we can network together, and here's why. Or I feel like I can help her, and here's how. Um, you could also say, and now maybe you don't know someone that's connected, or maybe you know someone, but you're like, this is not a person that I would be the best situation. Maybe you just had a disagreement with somebody, or a manager, an old manager that you didn't really get along with, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes that might not work either. So another option is you can see something that they do. Hi, um, Teresa, I saw your recent article on such and such. I like your idea on this, and as someone that works with this area, whatever it is, I'd love to connect and talk about some potential synergies, ways that we may be able to network together. And you would be surprised how often it would work. If you would send out enough requests, sometimes it's as simple as you can literally just click connect. It's kind of like a Facebook friend. You can uh, click to make a new friend on Facebook, you can simply click on connect, and you'd be surprised how many of those people will accept. But I do recommend putting a note in there. So you could even say something like, hi, Ralph. You just popped up on LinkedIn as someone I should connect with. Uh, and, and here's, here's not even necessarily that. So I think we should connect. LinkedIn says we should connect. So wanted to reach out and see how we can network together. It could be as simple as that. Uh, you could also say, uh, you know, I believe that my experience, I noticed that you're working on this project. I believe my experience in this may offer some insights. Love to explore how we can collaborate. However you want to say it, but some way that you're connected with that other person and how together you might be able to offer value, or at least network together and find out what value we have in reaching out and connecting. Uh, don't leave it up to chance. Invite them to do a call to action, whatever that is. Hey, love to connect. Uh, love to hop on a call, and I wouldn't probably hop on a call yet, but once you got to that person, then start a conversation. Start a conversation, uh, something that offers value to them first. Don't focus on you selling something, but offering value first. Then as you, get a conversation going, have some fun with it. If you're not having fun, we're not doing it right. Have some fun with it. Um, and then as you get to know that person a little bit, after you've sent messages back and forth, then you can say something like, hi, Roger. Love to learn more about your work, what you're doing, and wanted to have a virtual coffee chat or a virtual call. Are you available next week for a brief conversation? Or are you available in the next week or so to hop on a video call? So having a clear call to action is key too. So a compelling outreach message. Remember, personalization, value proposition, adding value to the other person, and then call to action. Uh, all right. So with that, that's how simple it is to reach out. Start with an original message. We should, I thought we should connect on LinkedIn, or LinkedIn is saying we should connect, or we went to this event together, or we both know Bob. Isn't Bob great? And if Bob's great, and that's the kind of person that you are, that you connect with him, I sure ought to know you because you're connected with Bob, and Bob is great people. So, all right. So with that, this is Lane Dockstader. Have some great connections. Simply connect to two new people. You can set up your own goal beyond that, but if you just simply connect with two new people, and there's something that I've learned and come across, which is the two by two method. If you simply connect with two new people, and each of those people, you ask them if they would give you the names of two people that you should connect with, people that they know that you should connect with. If you simply did that each time, imagine you're basically doubling how many people are in your network each time. So if you just simply started with two people, got to know them, and then asked them for two people that you could connect with, that would be 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Within a month, if that literally kept up, you would have thousands and thousands of new people that you connected with. So, power of connections on LinkedIn. Now, how many people are there on LinkedIn? There are over 1 billion, with a B, 1 billion people on LinkedIn. And so if that's all you simply did was connect with two people and then get to know those two people, don't I wouldn't ask this right off the bat, but get to know those two people And then once you get to know them, simply ask each of those 2 people, who are 2 people in your network that I should get to know? If you simply did that again and again and again, within a couple months, within 30 days or more, you would literally have thousands of people, assuming this is a 24-hour period. But you would, if you just simply kept with that system of 2 by 2, you would literally, within a short period of time, have thousands of new people in your network, uh, that are specific to what you do. Because once someone knows what you do and they get to know you, know, like, and trust you, of course, which are the first 3 steps to making a sale, as long as you're not being spammy, that system, that 2 by 2 method, you would soon have thousands of connections. So with that, Lane Dockstader with LI Training, have a great weekend, everybody. And I invite you, I better practice what I preach, right? So I invite you to let me know that you're willing to hop on a video call, and I'd love to further talk about how you can network on LinkedIn and beyond just a simple first connection and getting those conversations going. I can talk more about how you can do certain posts on LinkedIn, remind them what you do and highlight what you do, and what you're all about and where you're going and who you want to connect with. You can remind people that with your posts, and then you can also have deeper conversations with these people. We can talk more about that, but just to start A to Z, as far A to C, know, getting to know them, starting off at the A and then connecting and actually a video call or a phone call or meeting in person if they're local to you. While you hop on a video call, you can have a one-to-one, maybe at a we talk about coffee, coffee chat. You can go to an actual coffee place or a restaurant, or meet at a library, wherever. Uh, Maybe you have an office, or maybe they have an office. Whatever works. Meet with people, but it all starts with the original contact, that original conversation, and then going from there. So, Boondock Stater LI Training, great weekend.